So welcome to today's session on input output operations in Python, operators, and some of the debugging techniques that will be used in Python programming. So today's topic will include the input output operations and basic operators and some expressions and what is the precedency of expressions or operators that will be allocated in Python programming, and some of the simple programs, how to develop some simple programs and how to debug those programs in case of any errors, those debugging techniques. So all the topics we'll learn in today's session. So firstly, input output operations in Python. So as you know, input and output means input is giving some data to the system and output is getting the result from that program. So here input is given using the input function. So this input function will accept the input from the user, and it is also being converted into specific data types. So as we seen in the previous session, so there are several data types such as numeric, float, then boolean, so etc. So these each and every data type can be converted using the input function. So for example, from integer we can convert to float, from string we can convert to int. So in those cases this input function will be made useful. And for output, for printing the result, we will use the print function. So print is used for displaying the output. Then we will see string formatting and string concatenation, which is also the input operations that is used in Python. So here we will see some program to uh, to explain the input and output operation. So for that we have a given a task. So here the task is ask the user for their name, age and favorite number, and then display the information in a formatted output. So in this program you can see that so the inputs that will be getting from the user are their name, age and favorite number, and the output will be the all these information will be printed as a output in a particular format. Okay, so let us see how to write a program for input and output operation. So for that, as I told before, we will go to the Python IDLE editor. So this is IDLE editor. So here we can open a new file. So we can save the file as input, output, and the file extension should be Python file. So it will be saved as a .py file. So click save, and now you can type the program. So what is the program given for you is to ask the user about their name, age and the favorite number. So for that, so name, for getting name, I'll type name is equal to input so name is equal to input name. So you can simply give like this, or else you can have a statement here. What is your name? So it will ask like, what is your name? So when you run the program, here you will get what is your name. So you have to type your name, for example, Alice. Okay, so in this way, the user will give their input to the system. So input function is used in this way. So name is equal to input of, you can give any statement that is to be printed there. So this is input function, then output. So then output, right? So for the same input function, we will see another example program. So I am just entering number 1 is equal to input of, inside double quotes, enter the number 1 colon. Next, number 2 equal to input of, enter the number 2 inside double quotes. So this means that the system will get two numbers as the input, as number 1 and number 2. So I'm going to add these two numbers. So result is equal to num1 plus num2. I'm going to print the result. So for printing, I'm using print statement, which is the output operation. So print the result is, you can have like this, comma, result. So the result will be printed here. So now just save to run the program. So here you can see the prompt, enter the number 1. For example, I'm giving 25 and number 2, 54. The result is 2554. Okay, so what mistake here it is done is, so these two inputs are taken as a string. So these two inputs are not taken as an integer. Instead of that, these two inputs are taken as a string. So here this plus symbol denoted the string concatenation. Concatenation means combining of both the strings. That is why it has combined these two strings, and the result will be, the result is like 2554. It is just a combination, that is called a string concatenation. So here you can understand that these two numbers are taken as strings. Okay, so instead of string, we need to convert it into integer. So what we have to do is, here while getting the input, type as int of. Okay, before the input, just include the int command. So here also int of input, enter the number 2. So when you are giving like this, this string is converted into integer. Okay, so now you can save and again run the program. So enter the number 125. enter the number to 54. So the result is 79. So this is conversion of string to integer. So every time when you give a number, you have to check whether it is in the format of integer data type. Okay, so whenever you use the input function, before that you have to specify which data type it should be, right? So in this way, you have to get the input and print the output. So next is string formatting. So string formatting. So string formatting means just you can change this. So now what we have seen is one of the string formatting. So string concatenation also we have seen in the program. It is the combining of two strings. Okay. So string formatting means it is used in the print statement. So how the print statement will look like. So we'll see example for string formatting. So string formatting can be done in two types. One is using the F strings and another one is using dot format. Okay, so these two methods can be used in string formatting. So first we'll see how to use the F string. So F string means it is a command that embeds variables directly into the string using the curly braces. So it will embed the string directly using the curly braces. So we'll see an example program for that. So I'm giving name is equal to directly I'm giving the string without asking the input. Directly I'm giving the string. So name, another is age is equal to 25. So I am printing these two values. So print of my name is, so you have to use a curly brace here. My name is, so Alice. Alice is stored in the name, in the variable name. So here I am giving my name is, instead of the curly braces, name, and my age is, so here also inside the curly braces I am giving age. So here the name will be printed. Here the name will be printed. In this place name will be printed, and here age will be printed directly only if you use the F string here. So this method is called as using F string. This is one of the string formatting. So here when you use the F string, you can define the variables directly here using the curly braces. So now I'll check. So save, run. So here you can see the output is displayed as my name is Alice and my age is 25. So this is one of the method of string formatting, that is using F strings. So another method is using dot format. Okay. So here dot format means instead of this F, you can use a empty brace here, and at the last you can use dot format, inside that name comma age. Okay, so this method is called as dot format. It is also a string formatting using dot format. Okay, so here you can place a empty brace instead of this F string. You can place a empty braces and you can define the variables at the end. Now run the program. So you can see here the my name is Alice and my age is 25 is printed. The only thing is there we have used F string and here we have used dot format, and inside the curly braces there is the empty in dot format method. So okay, so these are the two string formatting method. And finally, string concatenation. So that we have seen already. So let us see another example. So concatenation means it will just combine the strings using plus symbol. Using the plus symbol will combine the strings. Okay. So here, so for example, I'll take first name is equal to John. Second, you can have last name. Last name equal to Williams. So now I have to combine these two strings. So these two are represented as strings. So I am giving inside the double quotes. Okay. So I need to combine the two strings. So print of first name plus, then there will be a space in between, again plus second name. So what it will do is it will write the first name, then it will concatenate with a empty space, and that will be concatenated with the second name. So both the first name and last name will be displayed as a single name. So now save the program and run the module. Any spaces in between the variables, because as we seen before, so variables should contain only letters or underscore. So here there is no space allowed, so make it as a underscore. So here also make it as a underscore. Make it as a underscore. Now run the program. So here you can see first name and last name are combined, but there is a little space in between. So what you can do is you can leave a single space. Now save and run the program. So now you can observe the space in between the two names, first and the last name. There is a space in between. So in this way you can use the concatenation function. So if you don't need any space, you can just remove the quotes and you can just combine with the plus. So you can remove the space, and so now what will be coming as output is first name combined with the last name. There will not be any space in between. So you can see here. Okay, first sentence is with the space and second sentence is without space. Two strings have got concatenated. So now let us go to our previous program. So now let us come back to the previous task. So now we are clear with asking the input from the user and displaying it in a formatted output. Okay, string formatted output. So now let us do this program. So first you have to get the name and name, age, favorite number from the user. So name is equal to, so name will be in a string data type. So you can just get the input. Input, enter the name inside the double quotes. Enter the name. Next, age. Age is a integer. So integer of input of, enter the age. Then favorite number. So fav num is equal to, so that can be a integer or a float. So I am getting it as a float. Float of input of enter your favorite number. Okay. So this way you have to get the input, and now you have to print those inputs. So for that, use the print function. Print. So the print function, the output should be in as a formatted output as given in the problem statement. So make some formatting. So I'm printing in a new line. Print slash n. So user information. Okay. Now print. So first printing the name. So you can use any kind of formatting, F string formatting or dot format. So I am using F string formatting. F name. So inside that curly braces, you can print name. Again, print F age, curly braces, age. Print F of favorite number in that fav number. Okay. So finally, print. If you want, you can give this statement. So print f of hi, my name is name. I am years old. And my favorite number is favorite number. So in this way, you can give the program. And now save run the module. And now it is asking for the name Alice, then age. Enter the name. So now it is asking us enter the name. So Alice, enter the age 25. Favorite number is 18. So now the formatted output is obtained. So here user information in a new line and name, age, favorite number are printed. So favorite number is printed as a float since we have defined it in a float data type. So 18 is represented as 18.0 here. And finally the statement is, hi, my name is Alice. I'm 25 years old and my favorite number is 18.0. So this we have given in the if string format. So in this way you can get the input and print the output in a formatted way. So this is about the input and output of a Python programming. So next we'll see the basic operators and expressions. So as you know, operators means it involves some kind of operators such as arithmetic operators, then comparison, Boolean operators, logical operators. So these are some of the operators. And first thing is arithmetic operators. So here we have these kind of operators such as plus, minus, multiplication, division, modulus, power, and floor division. That is a integer division. So these are some of the arithmetic operators that will be used often. So here examples are given. So 5 plus 3, 5 minus 3. Then this one will be the modulo. This is a division and it will provide the quotient in any kind, either an integer or a float. Here this percentage symbol denotes the modulus and it will provide the remainder. And here double multiplication, double star represent the exponentiation. That means the power, 5 power 3, that is 5 cube. Okay. So double slash represent the floor division or integer, that it will represent the quotient in terms of a integer. So these are some of the arithmetic operators. And these arithmetic operators will have a precedency. So it has priorities. Each and every arithmetic operator has priorities. So here the order of priority is given. The priority order starts from the exponentiation. Exponentiation takes the highest priority. So that will be executed first, followed by multiplication, division, floor division, modulo, and then finally addition and subtraction. So in this order, the priority is given, higher priority to exponentiation and least priority to the subtraction. So these are the precedence of the operators. So we'll see the example program. So arithmetic operators, all the arithmetic operators comes under the mathematical function. So there is a library called mathlib. So we can also import the library for executing these kind of operations. So example program is calculate the area of the circle. So area of the circle includes the operations such as multiplication, exponentiation, and it also includes, it comes under the math library. So we have to import the math lib. So I'm opening a new file. I'm saving it as area. See, so for area of circle, for area of calculating the area of circle, we need to first import the math library. So import math, then input the radius. So formula for calculating the area of a circle is pi r square, right? So we have to get the input from the user. That is the radius input we have to get. So radius equal to float. It may be a decimal point number also. So I'm getting in terms of a float. So float input of enter the radius. Enter the radius. Then after getting the radius, we have to calculate the area. Area equal to pi r square, right? So pi is the element that is present in the math library. So it can be accessed by math.py. So pi is taken from the math library. So math.py, pi into r square, right? So R square means R double multiplication, double star into 2. Okay. So after this, print the result. So print, you can use the F string, print the area of the given circle is area. Okay. So now save and run the module. So it is asking for the radius. For example, I am giving 8. So have to enter as radius. So enter the radius. Eight. Area of a given circle is 201 point. Some float number are given because we have taken the radius as a float. So the area is also represented in terms of a float. So pi is a float data type, so that we obtain the area is also in a float data type. So this way you can use the mathematical operator. Here you can see this double multiplication, that is double star, that is exponentiation, takes the highest priority and that will be executed first, and then comes the multiplication. So in this way the precedence will take place. So next type of operator is comparison operator. As you know, comparison means comparing two numbers or two strings or variables. So here the comparison includes greater than, less than, greater than equal to, less than equal to or not equal to. So if this condition is true, then the output will be it will execute the true condition. If it is false, it will execute the false condition. And logical operators. Logical means and or not. So and means it's a kind of AND gate. That means if both the outputs are true, if both the conditions are true, it will give the result as true. Or uh, or operator, if any one of the condition is true, it will give the output as true. Not, it will reverse the value. It will reverse the truth value and give. It will reverse the condition, value of the condition, and give it as the output. So this is logical operators. So we can have a task by comparing two numbers entered by the user. So for comparing two numbers, you have to develop a function. Create a new file, save it as comparison. So what we are going to do is we are going to compare two numbers. So for that we need to get the input of those two numbers. So number 1 is equal to int input enter the number 1. Number 2 is equal to int input of enter the number 2. So now we have obtained two numbers. We have to check the condition and we have to compare those two numbers. So I'm using if loop for comparing. So how to use if loop? So here if number 1 is greater than number 2, so always if condition should end with a colon and the next line will start from a indentation. It will start with a indentation. So if number 1 is greater than number 2, print f string of number 1 is greater than number 2. Elif. So elif number 1 less than number 2 colon print f of number 1 is less than number 2. Elif. So else. So if it should be greater or lesser, or else I'm considering both as equal. So else, for else statement also you have to place a colon, else print f of number 1 is equal to number 2. So these are the 3 conditions I am giving here. I am getting 2 inputs, number 1 and 2. If it is greater, print it as greater than. If it is lesser, print it as less than. Else print it as equal to. So this is my condition, and we will check how it works. Okay. So enter the number 1, giving us 5. Number 2 is 8. So 5 is less than 8. So again, I'm running the program. So number 1 is 4, number 2 is 4. 4 is equal to 4. So this way you can compare the two numbers. Next is simple programs and debugging techniques. So now you have an idea about creating a Python program and the syntax of the Python program. So here some 3 programs are given as a simple program. You can try creating these simple programs on your own. So first thing, sum of two numbers, and second, calculate the square root of a number. For square root, you can download the math library. So import math and then you can take the square root. And third, you can use write the program for converting temperature from Celsius to Fahrenheit. So using the formula, you can implement it in a Python statement. Okay. So you be clear with the data type and the input variable. Be clear with the data type and variable that you are using, and also with the mathematical operators. So next is debugging technique. So debugging means debugging, it represents the checking errors, checking and finding out the errors and correcting it. So debugging techniques are identifying syntax errors and using error messages to locate the runtime errors. So these are some of the techniques. You can identify the syntax errors, and you can also use the error messages to identify the mistakes. So syntax errors occurs when the Python interpreter cannot parse the code. Okay, so a common example for this syntax errors are missing colons, then indentation issues, and mismatched parentheses or quotes. Then these are some of the common examples for syntax errors. You may have missed the colon, or you may have indentation issues, or the variable name or different. So these are some of the syntax errors, and using error messages to locate runtime errors. So runtime errors means it occurs during the program execution often caused by invalid input or operations. So these are called as a runtime errors. On those runtime errors, you will get the error messages. So you can study those error messages and use them to identify the errors for debugging. So common type of error messages during runtime is you can use the zero division error. Okay, division by zero, that is zero division error, and you can sometimes use the invalid type operations. Then you can use the index that is out of range. So these are some of the runtime errors. Okay, in those cases, error messages will be getting displayed. So you can use those messages to debug the program. So we'll see some examples for syntax errors and runtime errors. So syntax error means missing colons. That means, for example, if you are typing a if statement, if x is greater than 0, and if you are running the program, so it is showing a syntax error expected colon. So here colon is missing. So that will be the considered as a syntax error. And then indentation issues means, so once you place the colon and you are starting the next statement that falls under the if condition, the statement should be indented. So without indenting, if you are moving the cursor to its original position, that will result in a syntax error. So always the if condition or for if else condition, all these conditions should be indented. And then parentheses or quotes missing. So this will happen often. For example, if you are typing a print statement, you can leave like this. So you will not close the quotes. So that will result in a missing quote error. So unterminated string literal. So here this is unterminated. So that is also an example for syntax error. Then runtime error. Runtime error means the main thing is zero division error. That means result is equal to 10 divided by 0. So in this case, so no number will be divided by 0. So you can see the error is like zero division error. So this is a zero division error, that is a runtime error. And invalid type operation, that means if you are adding the numbers, so result is equal to, so I am adding a string 5 with that of a integer 5. So this will result in a invalid type operation error. So here data type is different. String data type cannot be added with the integer data type. So this will result in a data type error. And uh, another type of error is out of range error. So list is equal to, suppose I'm having a list like 1, 2, 3, but I am printing numbers of 5. So the total range is only 3, but I am printing the numbers of 5. That will cause a runtime error, that is index error, index out of range. So here you can see it's given as name error. Also the index error also will occur here. So these are some of the debugging techniques which you have to be careful while running the program. Best practices for debugging means how to improve your debugging skills and how to avoid the runtime error or syntax error is by adding a print statement. You can add a print statement then and there in your program so that you can check the result for each and every condition, and also testing in small chunks. That means you can, if you are having a lengthy program, you can divide that program into subprograms, and you can check one by one. You can divide the larger program into smaller subprograms and you can test it one by one. And also you can use a Python debugger which is available in PDB format. So that will be also useful for debugging. Then reviewing code for common issues. That means once you get the error, you can review your program for common mistakes, that is a syntax or missing quotes or colon. So all these common issues, you can review the code once again. For that will be the best practice for debugging. So the hands-on practice will be comprising of two programs. So first thing is write a Python program to calculate the simple interest. Use PRT as inputs. So you can verify the simple interest formula, that is PNR by 100. You can use that formula to calculate the simple interest and write a Python program. The inputs are PRT, and second program is debug the following faulty Python script. So here a Python script is given. So debug this program and try to obtain the error. Thank you.